so you can see what it is.
Yeah, because I was trying to draw it here and it wasn't coming out right.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it's harder on this. This is just quick ideas. So talking about quick ideas, folks, we are taking the cat that I've been working on. I did a couple of videos with you guys on this cat in Blender. So I have added more animations. I just showed you how I went through the walk animation and, using the ability to copy and offset. Then I have more animations in here that I put in, like leaping, slapping when it's sitting down, and don't show them? What the heck? Oh, the cat slapping when he's standing up like he's boxing. I'm sorry. The cat sitting. If the cat's gonna be in this game doing stuff, the cat standing up like a YouTube video cat, and the cat walking when he's standing up, and just the regular walk. So these videos, I made all these animations in Blender, and now I want to put this out into Unity. So you could put it out and use it in Unity or Unreal or anything you want. I'm just popular using Unity. So I'm going to export to FBX, and I picked to export the armature and the mesh. I kind of picked to do the experimental apply transform so that it kind of matches up in Unity. And I'll just show you my settings for geometry and my settings for the armature. I turned off the leaf bones. That kind of adds a bone more than the bone I have at the end. I'm just going to leave it the bones that I put in myself. I'm not going to add leaf bones. And then the animations, which, I just showed you them all. These are all the things here. I could leave them the way they are, Then I'm going to press export. Oh, let me make sure it's where I want it to go. It's to my projects folder, the assets folder, models, cat. So I'm going to export the FBX there. Now, if I go ahead and look at Unity, and it's reading the file in, I said I put it in assets, models, cat. So let's see if it's there. It's there. So this is the FBX file. If I put my mouse on it, you can see down here it says cat FBX. Then the file is composed of different things that Unity, figured out how to read. So you click on this triangle and you can see all the things in there. The armature, that's the bones, the material. I never really did any texturing, so it's just that basic default material. There's the mesh for the cat, and then all these little triangles here, those are all the different animations that are for the cat. So the animations could stay inside the FBX. I don't like that. Hopefully that's not. There we go. That's a walk. Well, we'll see what happens. What I do is I'm going to take out the walk animation from the FBX by just pressing Control D. And then what I did was I made a copy of the animation, and it comes outside. And the other one is idle. So Control D on that one. So first I just take out two animations from the cat. Let me bring the cat up here so we can actually see the model. There we go. So now I have two animations. If I want the animations to play for the cat when I play the game, I'm going to have to make an animation controller for this cat game object over here. So let me do that. Let me create an animation controller here, and let's call it cat controller. So what the animation controller does is it basically says which animation to play, etc., etc. So let me drag the window and drop it like that. And let's just test by default. I'll just show you. I could drag an animation in here, and then it turns orange. That's the only animation. That's the default animation that would play. And so here's the controller. Now I have to put the controller on the cat. So here, drag and drop the controller on the cat. Okay? So let's press play, and nothing will happen. What did I do wrong? Oh, I didn't do anything wrong. I just had to wait for the game to start up. So the camera angles are really off here. Let's fix that. I select the camera, and I press Control-Shift-F, and the camera view becomes this view right here. Okay? That's the easiest way. I set the camera like that. I just use that. So I could hold down the Alt key and press the mouse button to swivel around my view. But then when I find the view I want, if I want to set the camera to it, I just select the camera and then press Control-Shift-F, which is basically game object align with view, and then the camera that I had selected aligns with the same view here in the scene. So now let me pick the cat and press play. So we should be able to get a better view of this. And there you go. The cat animation played once, and it's a little messed up from the way I saw it in Blender. All right. Well, first things first, the animation should loop. So what I'm going to do is over here's the animation. I select it, and in the properties, I'm going to say loop. Okay. And it could, yeah, I could say that. And the idle animation, I'm going to say loop too. So anyway, the walk animation's on there, and now I put it to be a looping. So now if I press play, you should see that the animation. Let me select the cat. That blue line is the animation playing. And it is playing over and over again in loop. And I didn't. What happened with the foot? This wasn't the way it was in the Blender. The foot's coming out funky. Let me. Oh man. Oh man, it's like doing an extra step. This isn't a TikTok video, man. Just don't do that. Jesus. Okay. Um, darn it. All right, I'll come back and fix that after, okay? So I have this walk animation, but I'm going to take that out for a second. Let's see. What I want to do is use a blend tree. That's going to be one of the things in this video that I'm going to show you guys how to use is a blend tree. And a blend tree kind of blends between, one or more animations. That's the cool thing. So what I'm going to do is for parameters of my animation controller, I'm going to add a float parameter for, oh, darn it. Let me name it. For for vertical, and it's a float. And then I'm going to add one for horizontal. And you know what these are? These are my joystick. If I have an analog joystick and I'm moving it vertically or horizontally, up or down, left or right. So these are the two parameters that I'm going to let the animation controller get. And then over here, I'm going to right click and say create from a new blend tree. So a blend tree is an animation state, which if I click into this blend tree now, I have this thing is going to say how much to play of each animation. This blend tree thing. So all I have to do is add different motions to it. And see, I have the walk and the idle animations. Yeah.
So adding that walking.
So let me see if I do this right. I say add motion, and darn it, what? Idle? Oh, why? I don't want to be embarrassed. Was it? What did I? I say add motion? Oh no! Oh, it's over here. Oh, thank you, Grace. Well, good. I added two motions. There's these little arrows, very little. I can barely see them. These little dots. But then over here, thank you, Grace, for noticing that. There are dots right here that have the motion. So what I will do is for the first motion, I will pick idle. And the second motion, I will pick walk. Okay? Now, the walk animation plays in a forward loop.
Have you decided whether or not the cat will meow?
Of course it's got to meow. It got to have all different kind of meows.
The meowing is important.
It is important. Let's see. So over here, there's this little blending thing saying that for the value I'm putting in here, the vert, which could go from, what does it go from, 0 to 1? When the value is 0, it's going to be the idle animation. What's this? What is this? Changes the animation speed. All right, so when the value is 0, it'll fully play the idle animation. When the value is 1, it's going to fully play the walking animation. And this is the blending of two animations. Woo. So I'm going to press play and cross my fingers to see if this works, all right? Let's see. Let's get a view. The blend tree is this. I got two animations, and it's going to blend between playing the two of them. And right now it's supposed to be playing idle. And as I scroll forward, it's supposed to play. It's not working!
It took half a step.
But I think it's because of my animations that I made. They're not
Maybe
they're not
it's that the
really
idle and the walking don't really go well together.
Maybe.
It's like you're trying to make
Maybe.
Maybe if you just had one thing.
Maybe. So I was doing the animations in Blender. I brought them in here into Unity, and there were a couple of weird things I noticed, like where's that idle animation? In Blender it played, and over here in Unity it's playing. I'm so mystified. Then there was the walk animation that is right here, and let's see, it had a little thing with the foot. You see that little glitch with the foot? It's not in that doesn't happen in Blender, but here it's happening. And I was showing you guys how to use a blend tree, but of course things weren't working out. When I pressed play, I did this, and okay, it should be playing one of these. It should play the idle, but it's not doing anything. And then over here, it's like confused. It's not able to play between the two things. So I said, all right, let me step back for a minute. Stopped everything. I'm still going to leave this stuff here, but let's go back to Blender and take a closer look. That's not Blender. Here, take a closer look at what I saved in the keyframes, because if I'm going to have the animations blend between each other, then for each of my animations, I really have to decide what I store in the keyframes. So here's my summary, and it just shows dots of where there is information stored, but I'm going to open it up by clicking on this triangle and see like each of the things that are stored. Okay, so first of all, when I did the animation on the first frame, I just like selected all the bones and ba-doom, locked everything in for all bones. And is that a problem? I don't know. Over here, the root moves, and then it moves again. What is that? Up. It's like a very slight move on the root. This is the red. So I think this one here I could get rid of. Let me just clean up my stuff here. All right. So what I'm wondering about is with... Uh-oh. The walk animation is messed up. Let me press play. The foot is not coming up on the other side. All right, let me Control Z what I did about deleting that frame. Maybe it's necessary. It is. Okay, so see, I better not play around with stuff. That had some purpose. I gotta trust that the animations are good and just pick out. All right, reset. What I'm thinking is that it's gonna be hard for me to blend animations if on the first frame I like saved every bone position of this animation. So what I'm gonna do is try to like remove information about the position of things that are not part of what I was setting. And see if that helps. Now, before I did this, I did save my file as a copy, so I'm just playing around with a copy, and I still have my original file in case this is not the answer. But I'm going to delete any information on frames that I really didn't do anything to. And that is what I'm doing. Is that? Nope, here. This line here. These guys. Just being real careful. And over here I got 2 lines, no, 3, that I don't have real information on. X, delete. And over here also 3 lines. And delete. And at the end here, I didn't do anything with the tail and the neck. Delete. So the way I was determining it, ooh, something moved. The tail just moved. I guess I did have something on the tail. Control Z. But does it matter? Let me delete the neck one. X, delete. Now let me play it and see if it still does the walk animation. Oh, man. The neck, I think, has to stay in there, too. Let's see. Alright, so these are the frames I need for this. What happened? You fed the crickets?
No, I wanted them and then 2 hopped out.
What the heck? Did you put them back?
You want to touch them?
Did you put them back, or is it free in the room?
No, it's outside. They're outside. That's what really has them. They're like in the.
There's a free cricket in the lanai right now.
Yes. 2.
Did you tell Olivia?
Yes.
2 of them are free? They're gonna come in the house. They're gonna come in through the doggy door. Go get those damn crickets!
You do it! You do it!
No, you go. Hold on, guys. Hold on. There's a cricket situation here. Go back. Okay. 2 crickets escaped. 1 cricket found. Other cricket is on the loose. That's the update of the cricket situation to feed this frog that somebody has in my house as a science experiment. Anyway, back to the video. I'll probably get attacked by a cricket tonight. Whatever. So this one's cleaned up, but just the stuff it needs for itself. Okay? So that's one. The other one that I had playing was the idle. So let me just save that. So let's switch to the idle animation. And first let's see how it goes when I press play. Yep, it's pretty simple. I remember with this one I moved the neck, the tail, and the root a little bit. Only 3 things. So that's probably why so many frames in here have no motion. But look at this. Let's get rid of all these. There's no keyframe information on here. Let me see. Get rid of that. And then these 2 here on the feet. Get rid of that. X. And delete. So now I only have keyframe information on the 3 things that I actually had moving. Ugh. There you go. Oh no. What are those feet doing? Why are the feet moving? Darn it. See, that's weird. So let me try to take it slow. Here, feet are in the walk position? Uh-oh, and then it switches to... okay, Control Z. So I'm still learning about, like, what frames, what information I should save on each keyframe, and if I should, like, store everything, you know? But I know the arms aren't even an IK joint, so let me take those off. X, delete. And, oh, let me just test to see. Alright, that's good. Something was moving with the paw. Let me leave that. The legs. Let me take off any information about the legs. And X, delete. And the back, I know I didn't specifically say to do anything on the back, so delete. Neck and head, sometimes they have stuff on them. Okay, so far so good. The individual tail bones, I didn't do anything. I did it with the IK tail. So delete those guys. And the arms, let's see again, because most of the time I'm doing the animations, I just use the IK, not the actual bone. I got the paw in here. All right. Arms, 1, 2, 3. There you go, delete. Let me try to put this closest to the words. So, what did I do? Why do I still have these 2 arms? Mamma mia. Select these. And X, delete. Same thing with the legs on the right. And the foot bone on the right, I don't know yet. Let me just do the legs on the right. X. Whew. Let me see what happens. Is it still playing? Yeah. Oh, you know what? These little check marks. I bet you they're away. I could see if it's necessary. Let me just uncheck stuff. You see, I just unchecked that foot. And you see it twitched a little. And so that one probably has to be there. And then this foot, it twitched a little to neck. Nothing's happening on the neck. Head. Nothing. Now for the paws. The foot. Oh, okay. So you think Dun's gonna come in? Hopefully not. I don't want to get attacked by a cricket. Don't worry about it. It's done. It's done is done. We got one cricket. The other one, I don't know. Maybe a gecko will get it. There's a lot of geckos in Florida, right? All right, so Grace, I think I fixed the animation. I took out all the information on keyframes that didn't have anything that I actually needed to make the animation happen. So I just did that right now with idle and walk. I did it with walk because remember how we did the blend tree and it was like looking funny? See how here the walk looks right. There's no glitchy foot thing. So let me save this and now let me export it again. So I'm going to go to frame 0 and I'm going to save the Blender file and then let me go export the FBX. But when I export the FBX, let me just make sure that in Unity, I am just going to override everything I had. So let me just delete these 3 things. Just want to show how to use the blend tree. That's mainly the thing I want to show. Now go back to Blender and let me do the export to Unity. And this is not the Unity folder. Is this it? Cat? Okay, yeah. Cat on ledge, assets model cat. I'm going to put the cat model in here, but I'm just going to call it cat, not cat modified. And now I have to do the settings again. Armature and mesh. Hold down the shift key to select both. Experimental transform, geometry, the armature. Don't add the leaf bones, please. And the animations. And I'll say export. Now let's go back to Unity. See, it was exporting. Here it is. And I should be able to check this idle animation right here. Thank you. It looks like it's working. So far, so good with the idle, Grace. Look at that. There's this one that says idle, and there's this one that says armature idle. I don't even know where this one came from.
I thought your one was
But
called amateur.
this one, yeah, this one works. So I got to make sure I pick armature idle. That one's working. And then where's walk? Armature walk. Let's see. No glitchy foot. This is good. So now let me press Control D to export them out to make a copy, basically, out of the file. And now it says there's no model available, but that's okay. That's fine. It's fine. We got a model right here. Drag and drop it. There we go. I'm not sure about that yet, but these are the 2 I want. Now with the, I have to make a new animation controller. I kind of deleted everything from before. Animation controller, and I'll just call it cat, okay? And this cat controller, first let me just see the animations play individually. So I got 2 of them here. And then on the cat itself, it's missing. Let me just pick the one I just made, cat. So it has a controller. All right, now I'm going to press play. Let's just see if the animations play like the old-fashioned way. So there's the walk. It plays one time because I have to put the loop on it. So I'll say loop, and then idle, I can also do that too. These are looping animations. Now let's make this the default. Set as default. Now let's see how the idle one looks. And the game plays, and the idle one plays. All right, so they individually could play. But now I want to make a, let's see, there's going to be a float, the vertical position of my joystick. So what I have is walk playing in the forward motion, like walking forward, and then there'll be walk playing in the reverse motion for if I walk backward. So remember, to make the blend tree that's going to blend between whatever animations I put on it, first thing I have to do over here is say create a blend tree. Bam. Then I get this node. It's right now the default animation. And then I go inside the blend tree. I double click on it. And here I could say to add a motion and another motion. I'm gonna put 2 motions in here, one for forward and one for back. And thanks to Grace, I click on the blend tree and she said, here it is, where I could say what the motions are. So, I should have 3 motions, one for idle. Let me add one more motion for idle. So see here, there's 3 peaks blending between 3 motions. Right here in the middle, I'm going to pick the idle one that I extracted out. Then here in the first place, this is going to be a value of 0, or it's actually, I want it to be -1. This is going to be walking backwards, but it's basically the walk animation here. And over here, it's going to be walking forward, the walk animation over here. So you say, how do I control whether it's going backwards or forward? It's with the speed. So this little icon here changes the animation speed. So how would I make the walk animation play backwards? I'd say -1. Ta-da! That's how, right, Grace? I'd say -1. So now I got -1 for backwards. Idle is I'm not moving, that's in the middle. And walk is right there. So I got the blend tree here with those 3 animations. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it's curses or if it's going to work. So here we go. I'm walking backwards because the value is 0. It says that, where's the blend tree thing? See, at value 0, I'm going to go backwards. So there's a thing. Now if I start moving it forward, I'm walking backwards slower, littler steps, and then I'm idle, and then I start going forward in full speed. See, isn't that cool? It's basically, I didn't have to make all those in-between animations. It's just blending them for me. I didn't have to blend them, and that I think is awesome.
Magic of the blend tree.
It's the magic of the blend tree. Now the only thing is the vertical value goes from 0 to 1. I thought that the value could go to -1. Up here in the values, there's one dimensional, like that means there's one parameter that I'm using to control everything. There's also another one where I could use, you see these 2 parameters. But anyway, that's a blend tree for you. So now if I wanted to put it in code, I basically pass my anim avert value. So I'll show you that because I'm controlling it here from the user interface. I'm in design mode. Let me go to the cat. And did I have a script that I made for the cat already? No. All right, here's a cat. Let's add a script. Now I could do it 2 ways. I could right here, I could add a script here and then drag and drop it. And I'm going to do it that way. And I'll just call the I'll call the script cat. All right. And I'm going to pick the cat. I said I'm going to pick the cat. And then the inspector window shows the cat. And then I could just drag and drop the script there. Now let's open up the script. It's going to open up Visual Studio. You know, I got to upgrade my Visual Studio to 2019. No time for that now, though. Maybe later. All right, so here's the script. So first thing I need is a private void. No, private. I need the animator. I need a pointer to the animator from, the animator component. Now let's call this anim. Okay, and then in the start functions always happen when you press play. Every start function runs on every script. Here I'll say anim equals the component's animator component. Right, so what this command does is it reads the animator component off of, oops, that's Blender. What this line here does is it's going to read let me scroll this up. It's going to read this. It's going to get this thing over here. Okay. So after I get that, now in the update, I could do things. So update it happens every frame per second. In the update, I'm going to read the vertical value. So I'll have a float vert equals the input.getAxis for vertical. And this is the input controller settings. There's a setting for vertical, so it could be from a joystick or the WASDs or the arrow keys, and basically it goes from 0 to 1. So let me just put a comment here that the values that come back from the input axis go from they go from -1 to 0 to 1. But you saw in my animation controller, I only have values that right now go from 0 to 1. So I have to make a little bit of a translation with this vert value. How do I do that? How do I do that? How do I do that, Grace? How do I do it?
I don't know.
We'll figure it out. First thing we want to do is feed it to the controller. So set float, and which float value are we setting in the controller is the vert, and we're going to set it to our vert value that we just read from input. So if I save that, go back to Unity. Okay, here I'm going back to Unity. Press play. So vert is a value of 0. Let me press up. And it's not reading my keystrokes. I don't have any error messages down here, but it's not reading my values from the keys. So I could quickly do a debug thing over here. Let me put let's do this. Let's put a debug statement in to print down at the bottom of the Unity window, debug.log, and we'll just have it print vert equals plus vert.toString. So you can see what the value is, all right? So I'm thinking the value should go from, if I press S or W, if I press down arrow, it should be -1. And if I press the up arrow, it should be 1. And when I'm not pressing anything, it should be 0. All right, so I'm going to go back here. Did I save the script? Yes, I did. There's no little star there. I did save the script. Now I'm back here in Unity, and I press play again. Okay, it's playing. Down here at the bottom, vert equals 0. You see that? At the bottom right here. Now I'm going to press the up arrow, so it should equal 1. And it equals 1. And the blend tree is not changing. Oh, yeah, see, I know what happened. This is a problem. I named vert over here with a capital V. So maybe I'm just going to change it to be a lowercase v. case sensitivity, Grace. That's the difference. Yeah, so I made it a capital V over here. Then over here, you see this is a lowercase v, so it never found the setting, and that's why that was happening. So now it should be able to listen to me. So that was the mistake. There's always little mistakes. You take your time, you breathe. So 0 is back, and then if I press forward, it goes forward. And you see that the little scroll bar, the values are changing. You can see them changing here when I press the arrow. Forward, and I let go, and it just goes backward. Now if I press backward, the value goes to -1. So now the only thing I got to do is figure out how do I get the blend tree to take -1 to 1 instead of, well, it has automate threshold. So let's turn off automate threshold. And let's say here that -1 is the back, 0 is the middle, and 1 is the front. And I think that works. You see that? We got that. Now, if I press play, I think that'll solve the problem. It's just when we use the automate values, it didn't have a -1. All right, so you see here's 0. It's not doing anything. And then here I can move forward. And then I can move backward. So right now I'm using my keyboard. But if I was using a joystick, I could actually control the speed better, you know. So there you go. We made a simple blend tree for the animations to play and blend together. And I'll stop this video here tonight. And I want you all to have a good night. Right, Grace? Good night.
Yep, stay healthy,
Stay
wash
healthy.
your hands.
And don't let the crickets get you.